All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Vince Devall with Eagle Homes powered by eXp Realty. I'm here with
Brad Brewer with also EXP and of course on the Eagle Homes team.
yeah,
So
very good, very
it's
good.
it's Monday as
Yeah,
usual
it is, and we're here every Monday, starting at 9 a.m. Well, we try to be here every Monday.
at the Loop.
At the Loop
Commons.
Yep.
They're wonderful studio.
Yeah. So, in the past, we've talked a lot about, the home buying process, the home selling process. And I want to throw a little spin this week. I want to start talking about how we, as agents, kind of manage the process and time management and deal management and, some of the tools we use to help keep us on track. I mean, I think the month of October, end of September, beginning of October was busy for the both of us. And, there's a lot of things going on, a lot of moving parts that made it could have been very stressful if we didn't have systems and tools in place. So as an agent, I want to share some of the things we use. And even you, if you run your own business, even your life, things like that, some of the things we do that could potentially help you out to better manage, just daily goals and daily life. So where do you want to start, Brad?
Let's start with the realtor side.
Okay.
And then you said it best. Time management is required in any portion of our life, whether it's our work or business typically. When you're self-employed, self-driven, you don't have to punch that clock, especially that really is, I think it's a key component. Some of you know, some of you don't know, I'm a real estate coach with the Tom Ferry organization. So I coach clients from all over the country, realtors specifically.
Yep.
But it's a business coach thing. And no matter what we talk about, it's so funny. We circle back to time management and schedule. And another portion of time management, which I think we'll dive into in this, is morning routine.
Yeah.
I actually have as a webinar topic for us to maybe talk about in the future. However, it's part of time management.
100%
is that morning routine. Tom has a great saying, win the morning, win the day.
Yep.
And I 100% agree to that. I can always tell that my day, like today, I started right, started exactly with what I wanted to do. I was 30 minutes later and started that I wanted to, but I was able to catch up, which was awesome to a degree. We're never caught up. And I feel like I've totally have control of my day right now. That's super critical, especially in a business like ours, where you start to have clients calling you, lenders that you're working with calling you throughout the day. There's a reactive part of our business. So I'm going to kick off the time management with morning routine. I'll share mine. You can share yours.
Yep.
I've always done it just something. I'm not super I wouldn't call myself super religious, super spiritual, but I try to do something every day that starts the mind, the body, and the spirit.
Okay.
So typically the mind, I get up and usually I'll either watch something that I think get me thinking, or I'll read a book that I'm reading. It could be a business article, whatever. I'm not a fiction reader. I'm total nonfiction. Can't remember the last fiction book I read. I had it in my 20s. It's a long time ago.
He reads. And
then it's something physical. Sometimes it's a workout of some type. Sometimes it's just some stretching. Sometimes I wouldn't call it yoga. I can't even say I know how to do yoga officially, but something to just get the blood flowing a little bit.
Yep.
Could just be sometimes just a quick walk around, half-mile walk, mile walk run, whatever it is, right? And then the spiritual thing is I always try to read something motivational or meditate. And,
yeah. Okay.
Some people think of meditation as if they're whatever. It's not. To me, it's just a quiet introspect of letting your just sitting there in silence and letting your mind kind of go whatever direction.
Right. Shut TV off, put device down, whatever it might be.
TV's off, devices down.
Quiet.
Actually, I usually put my phone in another room just in case. I don't have a lot of people other than you and a few other people trying to get a hold of me that early in the morning.
At 6 a.m. It's fine. You're up.
I'm up. But just in case there's people that do contact me that early, they're not interrupting that time. It's just for me. So that's when I do those things. I think it helps a ton. I'm going to flip to the other side, which leads to a good morning routine. Okay. This is something not perfect at it. Definitely want to make massive improvements. And I just put it on my calendar again this week. Is I talked to other agents about this, is your last appointment every day is with yourself.
Okay, yeah,
So kind of wrap up your notes from your appointments, your conversations, whatever, put them in your, we use a CRM, contact client
relation
relation
manager.
manager, customer relation managers, a
Yep.
couple things, same thing. And have that checklist of things I was trying to get done throughout the day, updated. What did I not get done? What did I get done? So that the next day after I do my morning routine, boom, I can go right to my checklist and start.
Yep.
I've been very bad about that because it's not been on my calendar, because I'm also a calendar person. So that leads to the good morning routine. So that for me is for time management is those two activities really kickstart whether I'm going to have a pretty productive day, I think, or am I going to just be in reactive mode all day?
Right. And I think that evening or afternoon routine where you're kind of closing down, that sets you up for the next morning so you know where to start. And I'm, I wouldn't say I have, your 3 key things. What is it? Movement, meditation, and
Mind, body, spirit.
mind, body, spirit
Yeah.
thing. I'm definitely a mind and body over anything. Well, or spirit. Like I'll get up. So typically, my wife leaves for the gym about 4:15. I get up shortly after that. I will usually catch up on any emails that might have come through for the night before, and then I'll set a quick to-do list that I then will take a little bit of time, and I will do either meditation or I'll read an article that is a little more inspirational than say informational. Okay. And then I go to the gym. Yeah, I try to go to the 6:45 burn boot camp. I usually leave the house about 6:15 because I like to get there and stretch. My wife's like, "Why are you leaving so early?" I'm like, "I'm old." Old and out of shape leads to bad joints and bad
Same thing.
muscles.
It's the same thing with golf. There's
Yeah.
time to go and work on your swing, but the pre-round hitting the balls, or just get the body
In motion.
Neither one
Yeah,
of
in
us
motion.
are neither of us are young guns anymore.
Yeah.
So
to your point of using that calendar, yes, I use my calendar. I find the calendar to be very valuable. We put everything from this podcast on our calendar. And it's not just so that we can stay dialed into what's going on. It's so we don't double book ourselves. Because I can tell you, when we're really busy, we get double booked. And I'm not sure if you still use it, Brad, as much as I do, but there's kind of the red-green method. Green is kind of my free time. Yep, he uses it. I'm looking at the calendar right there. Green's more my free time, my client time that I open space. I guess you could say that I'm blocking to, if a client calls me and says, "Hey, can I go look at this house this afternoon?" I know that the time from 2 to 3:30 is blocked for client time. And I'm not sure if that's time for today, but and then my red things are the things I have to get done today. They're meetings that we're, actively doing or part of, and I'm blocking those. Some of them can be adjusted a little bit, but calendar, I've talked on this before. It's the red, yellow, green method. Write down everything you do in the day. If it is, and anything that is red for you is something you don't like to do. You despise it. So if it's changing a kid's diaper, mark it in red. Okay. Or if it is cutting your lawn, mark it in red. And then yellow are things you don't mind doing, but they're very time consuming. Green are the things you love to do. And then figure out what are those things you can have someone else do. So if it's cutting your lawn, you got kids, maybe you can get your kids to cut your lawn. You don't have to do that anymore. And that gives as a business owner and self-employed, we have to figure out where we're going to add value to our clients and what we could take away from our everyday life to kind of free us up. We know an agent that uses a virtual assistant that does her online shopping for her, pays her bills.
Yep.
And it's for you got to definitely trust that type of person, but she puts together a shopping list and she says, "Here, make this happen," and she orders it, and the food gets delivered to her house every Monday afternoon.
Yeah. And this isn't a budget discussion today, but real quickly, like even certain things like that, it's Gary Vaynerchuk. A lot of you guys, if you're watching stuff online, he's motivational speaker, has several businesses, things like that. It's like, if there's something you don't like to do or don't want to do or don't have the time to do, pay somebody else to do it. Especially when we're talking about efficiencies, like you're saying.
Yeah.
What are the really important things each day? I remember growing up, we were not a wealthy family. We were probably lower to middle class. Sorry, mom, dad, if you're upper middle class. I don't really think we were. I had what I needed, but I never had, never had the fanciest clothes in school. But the one thing my mom always spent money on was, because her and my dad worked long hours, they worked very hard, is we had a cleaning person come in once a week.
Yeah.
And I remember just saying, like, that's one thing. She's like, I work very hard throughout the week. It's the one thing I'm going to pay for, because I don't want to spend 4 hours on Saturday and Sunday when I could be spending time with family or going to do something relaxing and fun.
Yep.
So to her, that was worth that money. Now, back in the 80s and 90s when that occurred, probably less expensive than one today, but
Yeah.
a lot less. But it's one of those things for her that was important. I think everybody's got to choose that. You mentioned mowing the yard. I hate mowing the yard.
And you pay someone to do it, right?
I pay somebody to do it.
Yeah.
It's just an expense that's there, because my wife got me going on. She's like, you have way other things that are more valuable to your time, whether it be work or family or personal, than that. I don't know what it runs. It's not a expense, but it's part of like managing time. So
Right.
That's an excellent analogy as far as some of that give and take.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think, so we talked about time management. So using a calendar to kind of manage your day, manage your personal life, your social life, and your work life, right? Because even on my calendar, I have my kid events, my wife has visibility to it, so she can see what's going on. And she can put her stuff on there, so I don't book a golf lesson when she's out getting a massage, right? 'Cause we do that. Let's get into some of the things that we use as agents that are going to make our life a little bit easier. Now, you talked about a CRM earlier.
Correct.
We're currently using what's called KV Core as our CRM.
Yep.
We've looked at Sierra Interactive, which really like some of the features Sierra Interactive. But what are some of the, I also know agents that use a piece of paper as their CRM. Now, let's talk about what are some of the benefits of our CRM.
Well, the one thing that I speak to about agents about CRMs is, let's go with the name, customer retention manager, client retention manager, whatever. It's a systems to help keep you in the front of mind of your customer. And that's our goal. Our client is, you close a house with the customer. Well, you want referrals from that client. You want future business from that client,
right?
Whether it's directly or the referrals. So you want to stay in touch. We have hundreds, combined we have thousands of contacts in our CRM.
Yeah.
I don't care if I did it on a piece of paper or a spreadsheet. And I know some agents do it on a spreadsheet. They've got it down to a science. It works for them. Doesn't work for me. I like something that's going to remind me.
Right.
A calendar can remind you, but then that's putting stuff in. What I love, we use KV Core, like Vince mentioned, is one of the things is I have a conversation with a client. Could be a very specific date and time follow-up, or it could just be, hey, it's been great talking to you. Let's touch base again in a couple months.
Right.
And to them, I just said a couple months. To me, as soon as I'm done on the phone, I go into my CRM, I put a reminder, a couple months out, just pick a day and time, a couple months out, call John. Whatever. If fictitious John we're talking about. And the cool thing is I can totally forget about John, because again, between the two of us, or
a lot going on.
Our team,
a lot of moving
parts.
Got
1,000 people to try and stay in touch with and communicate with. That's
Yep.
From leads that we're following up on, to current clients, to past clients, to Spear, all that kind of stuff, right? I can forget about John because I know, and I just looked because I wanted to see, I've got 10. So I got 10 follow-up calls to make today.
Yep.
So it's cool. I already know what I have to do today.
Right.
I don't know how there's some past due, except they probably popped up yesterday and I clicked them for yesterday and didn't do anything yesterday because it was Sunday, which was stupid on my part, but it is what it is. So that's one of my favorite things about the CRM is that helpful reminder for following up. And I've screwed up on that a lot. Sorry, clients that I've not followed up on. Please understand what I just said. We have hundreds of thousands, and that means hundreds of, not sometimes thousands of requests throughout the year. If we don't use our systems, we will forget.
Yeah. Yep. And I think another cool feature about this system is the constant follow-up that we can do. So we have drip campaigns set up for, those thousands of, potential clients that have maybe touched base with us through our website, through one of our advertisements, whatever it might have been. They're put on a drip campaign. So keep in mind, everyone out there, you go to Facebook and you put your information in, more than likely you are asking for information and we're going to give it to you. So it might be, do you want a home evaluation? Do you want to know how much, what the current market's doing? Do you want market updates? Are you interested in searching for homes in a specific area? Our system, once we have you in there, we can set you up for searches. It'll automatically send those searches to you, and we can see how often you click on a house or a specific search. We can see when you open an email, if you open it up from your computer or your phone. The CRM definitely gives you a lot of useful information. For example, if I had a client, I just had a client this weekend, not a client yet, let me rephrase that, a customer, this weekend, right? Difference is we're not directly working with them yet. Look at a property 5 times. They looked at the same property 5 times. The system automatically sent them an email. I sent them a follow-up text message and said, hey, notice you're checking out 123 Main Street. Would you like some more information on it? And they're like, yeah, can you tell me the acreage on it? I was like, yeah, here you go. This is someone that I have not talked to. The drip campaign, the system did their job, kept in communication with them. And now we're looking for either a house or a vacant land. If it's a house, we're looking for 5 or more acres. If it's vacant land for them to hunt on, they'd like 20 or more acres. So I now have a relationship with them. We have constant communication. Now my job is just to stay on top of them and follow up, and that's where the task part of it comes in hand. So another cool feature about the CRM that we use.
Yes, yeah. There's a lot of nuances you can manage. Your website through your CRM, you can manage, some of your marketing tasks. Though I think those are the key ones that I can't think of anything else that we use for from a time management, since obviously our topic is time management today. So I think those are the key components that the CRM helps with time management.
Yep.
I'm trying to correlate this to another system that works well with it, but I don't really have a good transition, so I'll just switch. So, I mentioned earlier, we've talked calendar, we've talked CRM. Another thing is you and I both said something about it was like your daily checklist of tasks.
Yep.
We started using Asana. I'll give Vince 100% credit on this one because, that's the one area I think I was kind of old school as far as I write my stuff down every day.
Right.
But the problem is this is something I got from my grandfather a long time ago, that he said, if you ever get through your entire task list, you're probably not doing your job because you're not setting your daily goals high. That's still true. I don't think more than once or twice in my life I've ever gotten through a whole list of tasks I set. So it comes down to prioritization and stuff like that, and the whole time management piece. Asana has helped because you're writing that down on a piece of paper, like, oh, that's not done today. So then it's like you're rewriting stuff.
Yep.
So much more efficient. I've gotten now to use it to like shopping list for the house, groceries, whatever.
Yeah.
If there's some furniture, we're like, man, need something here, whatever it is. I've started getting really good about putting in Asana. And then, of course, the detail of those time blocks. Like I have on my calendar, it actually says work your Asana checklist. I have it at least once or twice every day. Do this or do this. Usually it's appointment or work on projects.
Right.
Something like that. So then, okay, well, if you just have that on your calendar, what's the project? What's the task?
Right.
That's what the task is. So Asana has been a huge thing. Plus, you can communicate with your team and seamlessly assign a task to each other, which is awesome. So,
like Brad assigned me a task at I think 6 a.m. this morning. I had it done at 6:05. I was like, oh, I have to do that. It was archiving the file. I didn't realize I had to do it. And then he assigned it. It got done.
Well, in fairness to you, the original assignment was I was to archive once I did the final. I do the final audit on all our files before it goes to EXP, who does another audit. So don't worry, everybody. Your files are audited 100 times to make sure there's no mistakes, or less to the chance of slipping through the cracks. Anyway,
right?
Yeah, but Asana, because Vince created this task on this property, he owns it, so I can't delete it, which is a nice security feature. So I said, oh, sorry, you have to delete this or archive this, please.
Right.
So the task go. Yeah, it's huge. I couldn't find a document this morning, found it, but it was in a different spot. Kicked a note to our transaction coordinator and said, hey, can you move this here? Something simply that honestly I would have forgot. Then it wouldn't have got done, and then it could have screwed up our timelines.
Right.
Because now to another segue is transactions.
Yeah.
So another thing with time management that real estate agents have to do is current transactions, and we just came off a month where we had combined, I think 10 transactions at 8 to 10.
Yeah, 8 to 10 moving at the same time. I
Moving
think
at
we
the same
had
time
I
at
think we had 8
various,
that closed.
at various, some have not closed yet, some
Right.
closed. This is the biggest challenge of when I say I'm gonna talk to agents I've coached, is the biggest challenge is, and it creates, as agents, we make a commission on properties we sell. That creates our income to be very inconsistent.
Yeah.
Time management can help you with your consistency because I mentioned earlier, part of our job is to engage, network. I don't like to use the word prospect, but it's so sales. The only sales term I'll probably use is prospect. That means reaching out to potential people, quite frankly, reached out to us.
Correct.
Or we've received information that they may need assistance with buying, selling, investing in real estate, right?
Yep.
You spend your time doing that, you build up this thing, all of a sudden you have 4 or 5 contracts under contract, then that can suck all your time, and the agents naturally then stop doing the stuff that keeps feeding them business, and it creates what we call the roller coaster effect in your income.
Right.
It's a challenge, and it's something I've had challenges with off and on throughout my entire career. And time management pieces, including we referenced like the cleaner, the lawnmower person.
Yeah.
We have a transaction coordinator,
Right.
whose essentially sole job is to make sure that these things are moving through, and she's able to communicate with lenders, title companies, inspectors, the clients, the other agent on the other side, so that we can take some of our time back throughout the day to continue, engaging and trying to help clients.
Yeah. I think and the other cool thing, not just it's transaction coordinator, but Asana, we have projects set up that you click on a project, you upload a template for, say, a buyer to close or a list to close, upload one of those templates, and then you fill out the information. You can see where your deadlines are at, parts of the project or tasks have been done by our TC. So we're fully engaged on what's happening with that transaction. And like you said, if we're missing something, there's a communication standpoint.
Also, the setting those projects up for like a listing process, a buyer process. I'm gonna call us out because we've been horrible at it.
Yeah.
You find, if I say the buyer process, what's the thing that's in our buyer process, that's a great like client service that we're horrible at doing.
It's gotta be the pizza party.
Yep.
It's gotta be the pizza party.
Yeah, it is.
Post-closing pizza party.
Post-closing pizza party was something we actually offer, but we forget until I've put it into the Asana. In fact, I think I've done pretty good without it, but not as timely as I wish. Sometimes it's supposed to be a moving pizza party. When you're moving,
right?
Like last time when we moved recently, we didn't have a stove for 2 weeks. Boy, a pizza party would have been wonderful.
Would have been nice.
I was my own agent, so
he bought his own pizza.
My own pizza, but it's supposed to be a moving pizza party. Someone turned into a congratulations, sorry, we're stupid and slow. Would you like a pizza? Or if we just forgot. So
right.
That's now in Asana, so it's impossible for us to forget.
Right.
Because when I mentioned audit, one of the simple audits is that I do when we close a file is did all the stuff we've done.
Yeah.
So somehow, if we miss this thing and we miss getting the pizza party, hey, at least we can give you not a moving pizza party, but maybe a thanks for using us. Appreciate your business. Enjoy this one on us, type of thing. So,
before we run out of time, I want to talk about a few other items we use that cost effective. I truly think are cost effective. Help manage our time and help manage tasks. So one of them is we use Upwork. If you haven't used Upwork and you don't know what it is, it's a kind of freelancers that will do work for you maybe creating a YouTube video or uploading this video. For example, we have this Zoom going on that's on Facebook Live. We have this video cut, created, some background music added in, some fonts added in, and then uploaded to YouTube. Very cost effective, and it saves us time. It doesn't save us money, but with money, there's time. We're gonna go from this meeting to a team meeting, and while we're in this team meeting, this video is going to be getting created for us. So it's a very cool step. So even if you have if you need a file created or if you need a spreadsheet created, Upwork could be a very cost-effective way to help you do something you don't know how to do.
Yep.
So if you don't know how to use Google Sheets, go to Upwork, tell them what you're looking for, create a post, and you'll get 50 people out there that say they can do it for you in 5 minutes, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's one of them. The second thing we use that's very helpful in a lot of things that we do is Canva. Canva is a great platform for creating social media posts, creating newsletters. That pizza party form Brad was just talking about, it was created in Canva. So using Canva to help manage those types of things can be very helpful to you and your everyday tasks. Later.com. Later.com is a platform that you can put all of your you can schedule your social media for the whole week, the whole month, whatever it is. You can go in and it will post when you want it to post to the specific social media area you want it to post to. So later.com has saved us a ton of time because we can get our VA or Upwork assistant can get that all posted for us, created. We just go in and approve it, and it gets created, it gets posted for the week, which I think is pretty helpful.
Real quick there, I don't know if we've mentioned VA a few times. So for those who don't know, it's a virtual assistant. So it's someone, quite frankly, they could live anywhere in the world, and ours are not in the US. But
no, both Philippines.
Both are in the Philippines. But they're an integral part of our team,
right?
Because like Ben said, I am not a video editing expert. Vince did a pretty good job. He used to do ours, but one of the things we decided to go to Upwork was it was several hours a week.
Oh yeah, it was,
which was taking it away from his time to be engaging with his client base and assisting them with their needs. Whereas, us video is form of marketing, that's our needs.
Right. So. And then, MailChimp, we use MailChimp to send out our newsletters, which everyone in our database automatically put in a MailChimp, and from MailChimp, they get a bi-weekly newsletter from us. The nice thing about using MailChimp, if they unsubscribe, they're unsubscribing from MailChimp, they're not unsubscribing from our CRM. MailChimp also tracks things as open rates, click-on rates. So if you see that they opened up your newsletter 5 times this week and clicked on the I'm interested in selling my house 3 times, that could be someone that you want to reach out to and say, hey, I'd love to give you a home evaluation. It's a great time to start looking at what your equity is, so that come spring you could potentially sell. They could say, well, we're looking to sell now. Well, let's have a conversation. You don't want to push it right away, but you want to give them that opportunity. What's some other things that we use currently that help save us some time? Hell, Zoom. We're on Zoom right now.
We're on Zoom. It saves time. It's not into it, but our lead generation systems.
Yeah.
Vince just said, like, when someone reaches out online, they don't all go into the CRM. We have actually a couple different technically CRMs that we use.
Correct.
For different things, but it helps us manage our communications with clients. Again, none of this stuff's perfect. They work in conjunction really well together. It still requires us to do the tasks, which is a continuous improvement process. Again, time management. I like this topic because I'm a time is money kind of guy. And, I think, and this is for not just agents, but this is for any business person. All these systems cost money. If you hire virtual assistants, when you hire the lawn person, the cleaning person, whatever, it all costs money. It's what is the return you're getting with the time that you can go make more money than you're spending?
Right.
Is I think what you have to look at. And I'm forgetting anything else that we've used. I'm sure there's some other stuff, but the bottom line is we do review them quarterly, semi-annually, annually. All right, which of the systems are doing that, are giving us time back or helping us with time so that we can go out and make sure that we're helping our clients.
Correct.
And I think that's what you have to do as a business person. And then, I mean, you can easily roll any of this conversation over just to managing your life, especially, you know, well, let's say lucky is not the right word, but you know, I with point in my life, my child's adult, she doesn't require, I mean, whereas you're still
Require a lot of love and
you know,
attention.
kids under 10, you know, which
I have 2 of them.
and I remember, and you have 2 of them, I like 1, where the school, social, and sports activities, holy cow, you
Oh, yeah.
need a calendar just to manage that.
Yeah, we're going into softball, basketball, and volleyball season here soon.
And he's only got 2 kids.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, I want to touch on one thing. You know, before we wrap up here and we sign off, I want to touch on, I did a little bit, I had a buyer this weekend, potential buyer, they're flat out said, hey, I want to wait for rates to come down. We hit 8% this past week. They did get back under 8% for an average. And now anytime we talk about interest rates, those are averages. Each lender has different programs that are beneficial. But I went back and I looked at, I started in 2021 and I could have went back a little farther, but I want to make a point here is I looked at the median sale price, okay, and then I looked at the square footage of that home and number of bedrooms, okay. I just want to give you an interesting fun fact on I just did Kenosha County, and I only did single family, okay, just to kind of put some relevance into what I'm looking at here.
Okay.
And I did July to yesterday's date, 10/29. So I did July 1st to 10/29. Compared 21, 22, and 23. And Brad, any idea how much the single family house went up and it did go up, ladies and gentlemen. Prices are not coming down. What do you think the price of those homes? I can tell you they started at $250 in 2021.
Okay.
The median sale price was $250,000.
Okay.
251, but let's just round.
Okay, you want me to tell you where they're at now or how much they increased since 2021, which is 2 years?
Yeah, you can tell me where they're at now, or you can tell me what they went up to it because they went up in 2022 and then what they went up to in 2023.
I haven't looked at this, so this is kind of
It's a test.
it's a little bit of an educated guess, I
Yep.
guess. I'd say somewhere between 275 and 290.
Okay. We started at 250, we went to 275.
Okay.
So good, great guess. And then we went to 300. Okay.
Okay.
We're trending 25,000 every year.
Okay.
Even though interest rates are climbing, the median home price is still climbing also. Every year, the average square foot of those homes was 1,891 square feet, 1,894 square feet, 1,903 square feet. So square footage of all the homes
Yeah.
stayed pretty consistent.
By
Now,
the way, guys, we're going over today because he just hit a nerve with me because I also had a couple conversations that I'm like, whoever you're talking to, you're getting bad advice. So sorry, guys, we're going over today.
yeah. So so the prices are going to continue to go up. Now, we hit 8% today. If you wait a year and the prices come down to 7%, you're paying $325 for a house, $25,000 more than this year. Okay. You are going to be paying about $200 more a month at 7% than you are at 8% for a $300,000 house. It's kind of crazy how that is working in today's market. $200 over 12 months is $2,400 that you could have put in your pocket or part of your down payments. Brad's doing some hard math here. Whoa. Yeah, we don't want to know.
I handle the button.
Red is so
Anyway,
he's got a screenshot here.
so I got a screenshot. We're going to cover this because we're not going to go that over, but we're going to cover this more in depth because it's actually a topic that I put on.
Yeah.
Because of some recent conversations. So my quick one was I got into a text conversation with a potential buyer, a future buyer. And if she happens to be listening, this is no offense. I really wanted to have a further engagement with her, which we're going to do after the first of the year. She said, we're just gonna wait for interest rates to come down. So I smartly had asked the question, where are you looking to come down to? And she said under 5. To her point, she finished the text message with, if that ever happens. So my first response back was, well, if they never come back under 5,